Right guys, welcome back. You've probably seen today's title, how to plan for the bear market, basically. So I mean, somebody bought a quote to me, and I thought it was a brilliant quote. It's one that I've known about for some time, but I actually forgot, and I was quite glad that it was brought back to my attention today, because it's a beautiful quote from Benjamin Franklin, which says, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. And it's true, right? So this whole video is regarding kind of planning ahead, right? And one of the things that I have been talking about recently, so sorry about any noise or anything, I am driving, and as I said, I will be making a lot more videos. It's actually a lot more easier because I'm actually kind of free to do these videos on my journey. So if you don't plan to fail, right? If you don't plan to fail, it's very important, because you have to look at the worst case scenario. You have to look at the absolute worst case scenario and plan for it. So for us being in this bull cycle, bull run, whatever season, right? Bull season, alt season, whatever you want to call it, right? It's very important to understand that, that it is not going to go all the way, right? As most skeptics will always tell you, nothing lasts forever and this and that, it might even go down. I mean, it's all good, but for us, we also need to understand this as well, that of course nothing goes up forever. As I say, some people say cryptocurrency is a Ponzi scam, and I say, do you know what? Of course it is a Ponzi. It's a Ponzi from the people who control the market, who can manipulate the market. Of course, every industry is a Ponzi. Anybody who has the upper hand is the Ponzi, right? So if they can manipulate and control any industry, of course it's a Ponzi scam. But let's leave that aside. We don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about preparing for the bear cycle, right? So I talk about it in many of my videos. You've made so much profit, you've made gains, you're smashing it, right? You're smashing it. It's all good. But the thing is a lot of people don't understand the concept. Yes, unfortunately, the hardcore truth is, and a lot of people would argue, right, and say, well, if I stayed in it, I would have made a lot more. Of course, listen, it's the hardcore fact. You are always going to make tons more, right? You're going to make 100x, you're going to make 200x, and I'll get into that one as well. I'm actually launching another video, top 5 altcoins, right? But it's going to be a kind of a video with a twist, so watch out for that one when it comes out, right? Because it's something I need to mention as well, because there's a lot of channels out there talking about the top 5 altcoins, top 5 this, top 5 that, getting massive hits, absolutely fine, but there are some actual fundamentals that you have to understand. Anyway, let's stick around with this video here right now. So you've made these massive gains, you've made 100%, 200%, on top of your initial investment. So great, so good, right? But you don't know where the top is. Neither do I, neither does anybody else. But nobody knows where the top of the market is. We can only speculate where the top of the market is. We don't know where the bottom of the market is going to be. We don't know if the next dip is not a dip and it's a dump, and it just keeps on going down. Because one thing everybody has to understand, when the dips happen, look at any chart. It doesn't happen like when the dump happens, when the final market correction, like market cycle ends. It lasts for weeks and weeks and weeks, and everybody comes into this hope phase. Oh, we're going to go back up, we're going to go back up, we're going to go back up, but we never do, right? That's how a bull market ends, right? It doesn't go down in one day. That's not how it works. It goes down day by day, week by week, right? It will keep on going down, and you're going to be left there holding onto those bags. It's coming back, yeah, but the fact is, it's not coming back. It's going to last for, minimum, say, I would say a year to 2 years to 3 years, probably even 4 years, right? Because the cycle, I mean, traditionally on the crypto industry, we've had cycles, some cycles within a cycle. So we have our bull cycles, which are every 4 years, and then we have mini cycles within the bull cycle, which is basically just a mini pump, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but ultimately it's not the same as the actual cycle, right? So that's what I want to make you understand. So for example, we talked about super cycle recently, right? The next super cycle we're going to have is in 2031, So I hope you understand all of these kind of analogies that I'm giving and the mathematics I'm giving, right? So, you know, we have mini cycles that could, you know, we could have them every year or every 2 years, easy. We can have the proper cycle, which is every 4 years, and that's what traditionally cryptocurrency has done. And then we have our super cycles every 10 years. And we might even, 25 years later, we might even have another cycle within the cycle. So if you can think about this, 2025, we have our second super cycle, which is technically a 20-year cycle, right? And then we could also have a cycle within that 5 years later, which is going to be a 25-year-old cycle. So, you know, I'm not going that far ahead, right? Half of us probably won't live to that time, right? But the point is you've got to think ahead. And so every time you're in a cycle and you've made 100x gains, if you haven't taken your money out, right? And this is the argument I have with a lot of people, and it's very hard for me to convey this message, right? The fact is, your initial investment is the key to everything, all right? You have invested money with the intention of never losing that money. However, markets could take your money out easily, right? As I said, you know, it takes a very small amount of people with a very large sum of money to control the market. And, you know, they do exist, right? The fact is they do exist. So these guys could come in and decide to just simply take profit, nothing else. They're not manipulating it, all right? Let's put it this way, let's put it more friendly. Nobody's manipulating anything. Everybody just says, well, you know what, that's the top for me. Coincidentally, everybody just says it's the top for me at that same time, and everybody starts taking their money out. And once the money starts coming out, people start losing faith and losing hope, and one by one everybody just kind of follows along, follows suit, and they're like, okay, we've made money too, we're coming out as well, we've made money too, we're coming out too. And the cycle just continues until you come to the bear market, right? And then you confirm, oh yeah, we're in a bear market. Well, guess what, right? The funny fact about bear markets, right? We only confirm a bear market when we hit the bloody rock bottom, right? So I'm hoping this video kind of makes sense, right? So until you hit that bottom, the absolute bottom, right? Until you know, go to that level, bear market's not confirmed because everyone's in a hope phase, right? And let me explain how a bear market, how I confirm a bear market. Whatever price we have today, so they understand this carefully, right? And this will make complete sense to you right now. So imagine today, and I'm giving you an example here, right? This is not Bitcoin's price today. This is just an example. Imagine Bitcoin's price is $60,000 today. And as long as we stay, all right, 50% above, so if we go up to $30,000, we're still in a bull market. We still haven't confirmed the bear cycle. However, the moment we go even $1 below that 50% mark, right? So even $1, technically it is a confirmation of the bear market. But then think about this, and this is the deep thing you have to think about. For example, you bought it at 30K. You climbed all the way up to 60K, but you didn't take your profit and you're back to 30K. Why did you even waste your time, right? But if you decided to take the profits out, right? If you decided to take your profits out, so your 30K became 60K, you took it out. Well, if it came down and you decide, say, you know what, I don't need that money, I'm going to be in it for another 2-3 years, and it came all the way back to 30K, and you could rebuy. You could rebuy the bottom just for the sake of it. Oh, okay, it goes to the 50% mark, I'm still very bullish, I'm in a hope, I know it's going to go up. It's great. But now you have money for 2 Bitcoin rather than having money for 1 Bitcoin. All right, and your money's done something. This is the kind of a thing you have to understand, that yes, there's a negative, right, where the market crashes back down to 30K, but there's also a massive positive because you planned for it. So this is how institutions and smart investors, right? So we can even have the argument of a smart investor versus a dumb investor here, right? A smart investor is going to always take his profit because that's what he's in for. Now, he could have made more, so if he left it there, he could have made a ton more. But if he's taken his initial investment out, even that becomes float. And that money could be used later, right? That's what you understand. You always have to have disposable cash, right? Means you're ready to invest that at whatever opportunity you get. So So I've made many videos and I've talked about it as well, where I'm constantly preparing for the next bear cycle. So because we've gone 50% into the bull cycle, so until then, by the way, until we went up on the 50% Fibonacci line on the logarithmic chart, I didn't bother. I didn't even take notice of it, because it's no point, right? There's no point for us to look at it, because we know the market's going to go up. Now that we're approximately 60-70% into the bull cycle, this is when you have to start panicking. I'll give you another funny fact about this. Today, you can see I've just shaved myself, right? And my missus asked me a question, and she said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Why?" She said, "It's been over a week, you haven't shaved or anything like that. What's going on? And you seem to be zoned out." And another funny quote comes into it, right? Not funny, but serious quote, right? Warren Buffett, his quote: "Be greedy when, be fearful when the market is greedy, and be greedy when the market is fearful," right? That came in. I'm fearful right now. I'm absolutely fearful. For me, I'm more stressed now that we're 60-70% into the bull cycle than I was when we were below it. I was full on confident, right, we're going up, put everything in there, bet your house on it. That's the kind of an attitude I had, right? And by the way, this is not financial advice or anything. I'm not your financial advisor. Please take everything with a pinch of salt. And this is only for entertainment and education. Just to get that legal disclaimer out of the way. But the truth is, right, so I was so bullish, and I am still so bullish, right? My bearish attitude right now is not bearish. It's me being bullish, but being cautious. And I'm thinking, we can top out any minute, any second, any time now, right? And if we do, am I going to be a bag holder, or am I going to be buying with my profits later on, accumulate and increase my portfolio? Which one am I going to do, right? That's the argument, right? So for me, I've been telling a lot of people, and people still don't understand, because they see the gains, right? You see all these hypes. Oh, we're going to go to 100K, we're going to go to 500K, we're going to go to 1 million. Of course we are, but be realistic. For us to go to 100K, right? Bitcoin itself from today's price has to be worth 2 trillion on its own. The total market cap hasn't even reached that 2 trillion figure yet. Number one, right? For us to go to 500K, Bitcoin would have to be 10 trillion, right? Of course we're going to get there, but just not, we're not going to just blink and go there. No, it's not going to happen. Be realistic. People talking about a 10K Ethereum. Of course we're going to get there, but not yet. For a 10K Ethereum has to be worth $2 trillion, provided they don't print any more coins, because the more coins they print, the more their market is diluted, right? Ethereum is not a deflationary currency. It's an inflationary currency. They print more and more. The more you mine, the more is produced. Understand the fundamentals. Even like, I'm very bullish on Polkadot, right? But Polkadot hasn't got a well, as far as I know so far, I mean, they have mentioned something about, I forgot where I read it, I can't remember right now on the top of my head. I think old age is catching up with me, but I can't remember. But I think they do have a cap. But if I look at the market cap, so I'm talking about the marketcap.com, I don't see a market cap for them. I don't know how many coins they will have. That's confusing for me. That says to me that there may be an infinite supply. So I've got to be a bit cautious. So my portfolio on Cardano is, on Polkadot is very small compared to Cardano. Now, why Cardano? Cardano has 45 billion or billion coins fixed. So I'm more bullish on Cardano. Charles Hoskinson of IOHK Cardano has done something that Ethereum should have done long time ago. Ethereum today could be worth 5, 10, 15, even 20K the moment Ethereum decides to put a block on how many coins there will ever be. If Ethereum fixes the supply and says we are not going to have any more than this particular amount, my gosh, Ethereum will explode. I can assure you. Right? This is why Cardano is set to explode. Polkadot is doing different things, fair play to them, but the model is very similar to Ethereum. So I'm slightly less bullish than Cardano. So I hope this kind of explains this kind of an attitude towards a particular coin. Also, recently, I want to drop this one in there as well while I'm on it actually. Talked about Filecoin. Now, Filecoin, the original tokenomics, the original paper, the white paper they released, had a brilliant tokenomics that over such and such many years, we're going to be minting XYZ, and then the total amount will be this much. It's all good by me. It's all good by me. However, Filecoin is facing a massive supply shortage right now, because a lot of massive institutions who are trying to mine the Filecoin and who are running nodes in order to do confirmations and, you know, run the blockchain basically, right? They're having shortage. Filecoin has a supply shortage right now because how they do it. Now, the minting process is not automated. It's manipulated. It's controlled by the Filecoin Foundation or whatever they call it, right? That worries me. This is why until all the Filecoin is out, because they have the control to press that one button. So until they press that button and release all the Filecoin, I'm not bullish on Filecoin. I don't care if it goes to 1,000,000%, because this is being controlled. I have an issue against a currency that is controlled by one single entity. So here, maybe multiple people, but the point is it's one corporation controlling it. I'm not happy about that. You know, look at a company, I gave an analogy and I compared it to Theta. Theta has Samsung, Sony, Google, all running the nodes, all running the blockchain nodes, right? Confirmation nodes. Brilliant. But people, all the coins have been distributed. Every single coin that could ever be produced was already distributed. You know, yes, the argument is maybe Google owns a massive portion of it, maybe Sony owns a massive portion of it, maybe you know, Samsung owns a massive portion of it, but it doesn't matter. What matters is the Theta themselves have zero control over what price or what happens with the coins. Cardano, pretty much the same story, right? If you have a token that is totally distributed, like even Bitcoin technically, right? And I'll give you a technical reason for that, right? So Bitcoin, we know will have 21 million coins, but we know the 21 millionth coin will be produced in year 2140. Okay, we know the last final coin will be produced 119 years from today, right? Just put it that way. But every coin that is produced by the block is a final coin. There's no other extra coin. Nobody has a button to press another coin, right? That means there's no control. You don't mine it, you don't get it, right? You know, if all the miners in the world decide to stop mining Bitcoin, well, guess what? Us lot, we can then just switch on our laptops and we can also mine it. All you're doing is just confirming the transaction, right? That's all you're doing. That's what everybody's doing. But the difference is, a lot of these companies out there who are doing all these mining operations, the biggest problem they like, not the problem, but the benefit they have is they're running expensive ASIC mining chips and everything custom made, and they didn't exist when Bitcoin was around. Basically, you used to be able to mine Bitcoin with GPU and CPU, and all you had to worry about is your electricity costs. Now you need you know, equipment, this, that, whatever, and you know, it's become commercialized. But you know what, I leave that aside, because what are they going to do, right? Ultimately, even then it's distributed, right? So this is another argument there. You know, you can talk about it. I mean, I can make another whole subject, a whole video on it, right? But just to talk about it. But remember, guys, the whole video right now today, what we're talking about is being prepared for the bear cycle. So, you know, if you've made profit like me, whatever profit I'm making, whatever profits I've made, I'm, you know, taking it back out. Obviously, I'm leaving some for a rainy day. So I'm putting some of my profits back into Bitcoin, regardless what price it is. I'm putting some of my profits back into Ethereum, regardless what price this is, right? I'm making a lot of money on the altcoins, which is absolutely fine. This is exactly what I wanted to do. Now, it depends. If I entered the coin with Bitcoin, and today I've made more Bitcoin on it, then I'm obviously coming back in Bitcoin. If I've entered it with Ethereum, and there are a majority of the coins you have to enter with Ethereum, and I've made a significant amount of Ethereum from that, then I'm coming out of that. Now, if I've gone in with my fiat money, then I'm coming back to the fiat money, unless I see that, you know, right now I could be potentially getting more of Ethereum or Bitcoin, right? Ultimately, it's all about Bitcoin. But if I could be getting more, then of course I'm going to transfer into that and come out, right? But a lot of these coins that have done like 100x, 200x, 300x, even some of them done are like, you know, almost 1000x, right? And some of them you can see the pattern. So as I said, up to 50% of the bull cycle, you can see the pattern. So for me, when I saw we hit that 60-70% mark, I started to scale out. So non-stop, I started to take everything out. Now I've either left it in BTC or I've either left it in Ethereum. Totally depends on which one I want to hold for how long. So Ethereum I want to hold for at least 5 years. Bitcoin until 2030, so that's a different story. And any cash I'm taking now, I'm just sitting, and trust me, I have not withdrawn them in the bank. I'm leaving them in the exchange, ready to buy the bear market bottom, right? Because as I said, as soon as we have that 50% plus invalidation point of the bull cycle, saying that's it, right, we're going down now, right? So, you know, if we go down to those levels, just assume like from 60k to 30k, the moment we go to that level, I'm just waiting for it to go down as low as it can and then just buy when I'm comfortable, right? That's what I'm going to do, because remember, we don't know what the total bottom is, and neither do we know what the total top is. We can only have a rough guesstimate, right? So we can guess the estimation of it, and hopefully you know, just buy those, right? But remember, in a bull cycle, when the market's trending upwards and we have dips, you buy the dips. When the bull cycle ends, it's not buying the dips anymore. You don't buy the dips anymore. You buy the dip, the only dip, right? Which means you have one shot to get that low. And the one shot, it doesn't matter where it is. It's what you're comfortable with, right? So, you know, you just buy that and then just sit down and wait if you want. Or, you know, in other cases, like for example, you know, if I'm planning a big a trip, so I'm going to need a lot of money for that. So for me, I'll probably just take out some of that money, treat myself, go on a long trip, do whatnot. So I've got some finance while, you know, I'm going, so I don't have to worry about employment, work, money or anything, while I wait for the market to kind of rebalance itself. Once the market rebalances, then I'm going straight back in again. You know, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be going straight back in again. Also, another thing I wanted to quickly drop in here, I think I mentioned it in one of the chats. This is a good one, right? So listen to this, and this is beautiful, right? And I've done this 2018, I've done this 2019, right? So this is funny, but it works, all right? Let me explain it. Especially 2019 was the beautiful one, right? So in 2019, market goes all the way down, and Ethereum comes down to around £90, and I buy a whole bunch of Ethereum, and I bought a ton of them. I kept some of them, but the rest of them, what I did was, because I bought it with cash, right, I started to spend the Ethereum as my cash flow. So you know, you can get a debit card and you can load it up with Ethereum and actually spend it like a normal, you know, like your bank. So what I did, and this is funny, right, and this is no financial advice, I took my money that I had, put it into Ethereum, and kept on spending Ethereum, and Ethereum kept on going up in price, right? Because it was keep on going up in price, my money never ran out. But it gave me an opportunity, which is that any other money I was earning or I was able to gather, I was able to continuously buy more assets, right? So whether it be Bitcoin, whether it be Ethereum, whatever, I'm buying more and more. But my initial amount that I bought was far more than enough, right? And a lot more than enough for me to basically have that as my daily expenditure. Even to today, I'm still spending it, right? So I'm still spending it. Of course, the price has gone up. Of course, I've gone ahead and locked a whole bunch of them in ETH 2.0. But, you know, from that dollar cost averaging attitude, or I call it the pound cost averaging, like, you know, so depends where you are, right? But normally known as dollar cost averaging, DCA. It helped me to accumulate enough, right? Number one, and to get to the point where I can go and spend that money while the price is going up, and I haven't finished it, right? That money just doesn't finish, and frees me up with my own cash that I would have spent to pay my bills or whatever, frees me up to go ahead and use that to buy other assets, you know, and scale into other assets. Because you can't do that. If you're limited, you can't do that, right? But because of that one opportunity, I understood. I said, right, if I buy at the lowest point, so I've saved a whole bunch of money. Just, I'm giving you an example here, right? So I've saved 10 grand, right? Or, you know, I work hard and everything, and I saved 10 grand. And I know the market is right at the bottom. Well, I assume it's at the bottom, right? And I'm like, that's it, I'm gonna go in. And I see the market kind of reversing, trying to come back up again. And it looks positive, right? So I'll put my 10 grand in. That's my saving gone. Now I'm free to save again, but now because I'm spending the money that I saved, not the money that I'm saving, I'm free to do whatever I want with that cash. Now I can invest continuously without thinking of the consequence of, oh, what if my money goes down? What if I need money? What if I need access? Well, guess what? Your money that you were saving is now more valuable, you know, than it was before, right? So your 10K, for example, could potentially, over time, if it grows by 10%, say, you know, every month or whatever, you've constantly got another, you know, money coming in, and, you know, ultimately increases, right? So in Ethereum's case, you can see that we just did from where I was, and this is a funny fact, right? So from where I bought it, we're actually, I'm actually 15x. So, you know, being 15x on my money, I've only probably spent 2x of that. Because how much does a person need to really spend? I mean, what is your what do you call this? What is your expenditure, or whatever you want to call it, right? But point is how much do you really need to live? And this is what it is. The money I was going to spend, I took that money, and I ended up putting that money into the money I was going to spend over the year. I saved that, obviously, and I took that money, and I'll talk about more about that. So I have this crazy way of managing finance. For example, gas, electric, you know, car insurance, even the rent for home, I pay in advance. So I'm always in advance. And I've managed to get to that level over time by kind of practicing certain things, but I'm always paid in advance. So for example, if I was to own a house and I had a mortgage, then my mortgage would be paid in advance every year. It's an attitude I have, and that actually gives me the freedom to save money. So I've got myself to that level where I'm always paid in advance, right? Sorry, I'm paying in advance. By doing that, there's always money free for me to do whatever, and then I'm using that money to increase more money as well. So that's another whole story. If somebody wants to know about it, let me know in the comments, and I'll talk about it. But the technique is you free yourself up. Your money is now continuously growing. While your money is growing, right, you are now able to take whatever money you were going to save that particular year or 6 months or whatever, and invest that into another coin. Because the market cycle is moving up, the others will also be carried up. So in, say for example, in one of the coins you make, just for the sake of the video, right, we double the money. You know, in one of the coins, the big boy, we know we're going to double the money. So we double the money. So my saving is now doubled. But because I've had free money that I was able to pump into something else, that's been carried up, and that one's grown up by, say, 20%. Well, 100% on my first investment, then I've made another 20% on my current holding. Think about it, I'm 120% up. I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have done that if I was just sitting there, you know, not planning for it. If I was just sitting there and waiting to spend money that I earn now, it doesn't work. This is one of the reasons why the bank accounts are empty, everything's empty, I don't have any savings, I don't have none of that. It's all in crypto. Because over time, I'm non-stop making more and more gains. So by literally doing nothing and also spending my crypto, I'm still increasing more crypto. So it's crazy, but I want you to understand this, right? So, you know, coming back to the quote, right? Plan to fail. If you don't, then you're planning to lose, basically. So please do understand, it's a very, very powerful message. And also, as Warren Buffett said, very, you know, these two quotes Beautiful. Thank you, bro Chrome. You've put this on my map today. It was beautiful. I looked at both of them. They came one after the other, and I was like, brilliant. This is exactly the attitude, right? You know, this is exactly what we need to inspire ourselves with, and they are both my inspirations as well. And I think it's the quotes I'm talking about, not the people, but the quotes, right? Brilliant quotes. And you know, so please, guys, understand. Be fearful when the market is greedy. When everybody else is like all hyping it and this and that, you gotta be afraid. All right, you have to be afraid. I'm afraid. I'm losing sleep over that, not over the fact that, oh, we're gonna lose money or the market could go down. No. I'm afraid because the market is going up. I'm very afraid, right? So when I'm gonna be happy and I'm gonna sleep at peace and this and that is gonna be when the market goes down. You know, for me, I'm planning for that time to come, because I know that it's going to make me a lot more money, and then I'm going to have a whole nother long stretch. Maybe like this time I had, technically for me, this stretch has been 2 years. So you guys may know your bull run started in, well, technically around April, May, right? Last year, it started 2020, right? Well, guess what? My bull run started in 2019. So isn't that a bit crazy? But that's because I played the game, right? So for me, the bull run started a year before everybody else. While everybody's been looking at the charts and panicking, oh, going up, going down, going this, every time we went up, sold, bought, and I kept on doing the cycle. By doing the cycle, my bull run has lasted longer than anybody else's, and that's a fact. I can prove it to anybody if they want, right? But that's what it is. My bull run has lasted longer than anyone else, right? Because I've played the strategy. I planned for the market to fail. And because I had a plan already, I was executing the plan exactly as I say. So exactly as I preached it, I was planning for that. And I said, right, we're going up, fine. We buy a BTC in when was it? 2019, I think it was like 3,000 something. Buy BTC. Goes all the way up to 9-10K. All right, fine, no worries. Are we going to go any more? No, probably. This is probably it. So I'm thinking to myself, this is probably the bull run. So I'm not fearful, and I'm thinking, okay, everything looks good. We didn't even touch the marks. The market starts coming down. But remember what I said. When the market started coming back down to 50%, right? So came back and invalidated itself, 50%. I said, damn, okay, this is not a bull market. This is a bear cycle. So what do? I take my money out. I take all my initial, all my profit, everything out. And I'm ready. Then the market dips again in March 2020. And I'm scaling in, by the way. Market's going down and I'm scaling in. So not only have I taken my initial out, I've taken some profits out, I was scaling back in while the market's going down, because I don't know where the absolute bottom is. So by that time, I'm already there. So I'm now preaching to people and saying, guys, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. And no one's listening to me. I'm like, you know what? It's okay. It's not a problem, right? So I do as I preach. So I'm going ahead, and people are, you know, the market's coming down, and I'm constantly just going in. Then it comes to March, big dump, and I'm like, guys, this is the last chance. Buy it right now. You're not going to get it any cheaper than this. People don't listen. I'm buying. April, I'm buying. March, April, May, I'm buying. Right? The last time I spoke to anyone, and this is BTC, by the way, the last time I said to anybody in May, I said, now is the last chance. Buy it. And there was one person who's associated with me, I won't say anything, and I said to that person, I said, I know you got a bit of fund, let me manage it for you and watch what happens. Coming fast forward to now, a few days ago, he was actually talking to someone behind my back, and he was regretting. He goes, do you know what, if I listened to him last year in May, right, he had around apparently he had about 38,000, but I didn't even know that. I said to him 25k, and he would have had so it was 6,500 on that date when I told him. I remember the date. It was 6,500 pounds a coin. So he would have had 4 bitcoins. Just do the maths. How much 4 bitcoins would have been worth today? And that's just holding it, nothing else, right? But he didn't. Instead, what he did, and I understand, I mean, he trusts me. It's not that he doesn't trust me. He would have given it to me. But what he did at that time, he bought a piece of land somewhere else. That's what he did. So I kind of joke with him every now and then. I'm like, dude, next time you want to buy a land, talk to me before you go and buy a land, right? There's a season to buy land, and there's a season to invest money in Bitcoin. And this is the season. So this is what I've been telling you, telling everybody, people who have followed me. In fact, one guy, he bought 100 quid's worth. £100 worth when he listened to me, and he didn't touch anything. He's just kind of testing the waters, right? New guy, you know, so he wanted to try it. He goes, look, I'm just gonna put £100. Well, his £100 became, if I'm correct, his £100 is like £800 or £900 now. It's not bad, is it? So, but he's understood it now. He's like, damn, I should have listened to you. Now I see, if I put 10 bags, I could have made more. I'm like, yeah, exactly. You know, because when he bought it, I think it was about 3 grand. So 10 bags would have bought him 3 Bitcoin. So again, guys, you got to understand, be prepared for that worst case scenario. That's the best case scenario for you, right? If you're looking for a 100K coin and you're jumping on the boat, it's great, but don't focus too much on that. Focus on the fact how much money you've made, how much profit you've made, so you can use it when the market goes down, right? When the market's bloody, that's when you want to be all excited, right? When the market is too high, panic, because I do, trust me. Last few days, I'm not sleeping, I'm stressing and this and that, because I need to scale out ASAP. If I don't, any time now, within a week, 2, right, we could easily go to that top, and I'm afraid. Right, so I make a lot of videos like this where I constantly warn people. So if you're new to the channel, the first time you've seen this, please do consider subscribing, hit the like button, share with one another if you find value. You're just going to get the honest truth from me. I'm not here for hyping anything. If you're looking for hype and, you know, other nonsense, basically, there's plenty of channels out there who are doing it, and that's what they make money off. I don't want your money. I don't want anything from you. You know, you watch it, take some benefit. That's all I care. For me, nothing else matters. All right, I'm not in it for anything else. I'm just giving my peace of mind. Everything I do is what I'm doing. It's nothing to do with any pumps or dumps or even promotions or anything. You may see some links below also talking about them. Some of those links are just default links. I am going to be deleting them because there are some companies who, like for example, Bybit doesn't allow UK people to trade on Bybit now. All right, they've had some issue with the UK, so I might put a disclaimer or might get rid of the link completely. Any other applications that are there, if I see a problem, I'll take it off, right? And if you do buy, then I do get a small commission, right? But again, that all goes towards my mission of accumulating more BTC. So if you do, say for example, go and buy something, or you know, open an account, I might just get a few quid here and there. But trust me, in Bitcoin, even a Satoshi today, even today, £5 worth of Bitcoin is a lot of Bitcoin. Trust me. Okay, you won't regret it. As long as you got that Bitcoin in, you know, in the future, you won't regret it. That's all I'm going to say. So other than that, guys, I won't make it any longer. It's a 37-minute video. I'll talk to you. I'll probably drop another video. I'm not quite sure, but this is a little bonus one I just wanted to drop, and hope this is educational and helpful for people, and I hope you all understand what I'm trying to say. So other than that, I'll see you on another one. Take care.